Addiction to fast food, after all, is not just about craving, but rather the result of a sophisticated behavioral programming process. From the TV commercials of the 70s and 80s, the enticing Happy Meals for kids, to the habit of enjoying something quick and cheap at the end of a busy day, all of this has created a habit deeply ingrained in our daily lives. We all deserve a little convenience, a little small joy. But I believe that understanding the addictive mechanisms behind fast food will give us more strength to make more conscious choices. Don't let temporary cravings control you. Don't let unconscious habits lead us. But instead, it is we, with our understanding, who will decide when, where, and for what reason we truly want to eat. For many American workers, fast food has become an indispensable part of their lives. It only takes a few minutes and a couple of bucks to get a crispy chicken meal, a hot burger, a portion of golden fries, and a refreshing soda. What's wrong with that, right? But what if I told you that behind those quick meals lies a whole secret world that the fast food giants never want you to know about? Those could be burgers that last longer than your holiday, chicken nuggets that contain only half real meat, or dessert yogurt that has more sugar than a donut. And if you are living on a tight budget, if you choose fast food because it is convenient, because it is cheap, you need to know these truths more than anyone else. Let's explore the top 10 shocking truths about fast food in America, the things that big corporations have hidden from you for decades, and decide for yourself whether we are truly saving or just paying a different price, much higher. This video is not made to condemn fast food, nor to deny the convenience and joy it brings. It was created with the intention of providing information so that each of us can gain a broader perspective and make better decisions for our health and future, in the way that best suits each individual's circumstances. A friend of mine told me a story every time fast food was mentioned. He was a long-distance truck driver, and once he bought a burger and left it in the truck for several days. And you know what? When he discovered it, the cake looked exactly the same as when he first bought it. No mold, no discoloration, no strange smell, as if time had never touched it. When we first heard it, we all just laughed it off, but later at home, I started to ponder. You know, if it's regular food, just leaving it out for 1 to 2 days will spoil it. If kept in the refrigerator, it will last a bit longer, about 2 to 3 more days. But if something is left outside for a week, or even nearly a month without spoiling, then it definitely isn't normal anymore. I once read a study about McDonald's burgers containing dozens of ingredients, and among them, there are quite a few strong preservatives that help it maintain its fresh appearance. But this also means that our bodies have to process those unnatural compounds every time we eat it. You may have seen the famous photos of the McDonald's burger displayed in a museum in Iceland. Since 2009, the burger has remained there, mold-free and intact. And I'm not telling this to shock or scare you. I just want to ask a sincere question. Are we eating because it is truly food, or just because it is convenient, cheap, and too familiar? A quick meal, a few coins saved, a moment of satisfaction. But in return, there could be long-term effects that you are completely unaware of. And at our age, health needs to be given more attention. And being more selective about the types of food we eat is also a way to protect ourselves. The truth is that every brand wants consumers to pay attention to them. And of course, they will find all sorts of ways to advertise, sometimes exaggerating everything. From fresh and delicious food, imported new every day, and you yourself might have also been attracted by those ads. The hot chicken wings, the pieces of meat soaked in spices have never disappointed you. But have you ever stopped to think whether they are really as fresh as the advertisements say? Unfortunately, behind those chicken wings, they are not as fresh as you think. Many dishes that we believe are fresh have actually been processed, frozen, and transported hundreds, even thousands of miles before landing on your tray. From fried chicken, bread, to even fried eggs, many dishes have been pre-cooked at the factory, kept frozen at extremely low temperatures, preserved during transportation to the States, and seasoned with countless enticing spices before reaching your hands. In other words, You are not eating a freshly grilled burger or a newly fried chicken wing. You are eating a portion of processed food from last week or even from a month ago. The production process of modern fast food now resembles an assembly line more than a family kitchen. That's also why many fast food items have strange textures. The bread is chewy but not soft. The chicken is spongier than usual, and the vegetables are unnaturally crunchy. We are not just eating a meal. We are consuming an entire industrialized process. For people with low incomes, a $5 meal is a bargain, helping you save a lot of money. But I really don't know what that bargain will bring to your health and your family's health. Of course, if you stop eating or eat less, the fast food chains won't be affected much. But take care of your health first. Many people, when visiting fast food restaurants, often prioritize choosing salads because they think it's a dish with a lot of greens, no sugar, and no fat. But why do they still gain weight? Is there something wrong here? One time, while visiting McDonald's with friends, I chose the Southwest salad with crispy chicken, telling myself that I was eating smart. But when I looked at the nutrition information, I really had to frown. That salad contains over 730 calories, more than a regular Big Mac. It's hard to believe, isn't it? A dish labeled as healthy actually delivers more energy, fat, and salt to the body than the dish we usually think is terrible. And what concerns me the most is in low-income communities, where every penny is carefully calculated, many people choose salad in the hope of saving money while staying healthy. But in reality, they might be misled by clever advertisements rather than the truth. I know that choosing meals outside is not always easy, having to worry about the budget while also wanting to avoid harming our health further. But perhaps the most important thing is that we need to understand that not every dish that looks healthy is actually healthy. When picking up a salad box, perhaps we should take an extra minute, read the ingredients carefully, and ask ourselves, is this really the best choice for me today? Sometimes, it's the small questions like these that truly help us take care of ourselves in a deserving way. French fries are definitely the first choice for many people when standing at the order counter in fast food restaurants. How can one resist a box of hot, crispy, golden fries that seem to chase away all the fatigue after a long day? But is it really potatoes? And if it's real, what does it contain inside? Back to the story I mentioned at the beginning. In 2009, McDonald's withdrew from the Icelandic market. A local there bought the last burger and fries, and instead of eating them, he decided to keep them to see how they would change over time. The result? Until today, more than 15 years have passed, and that piece of potato is still there. Its color almost unchanged, not moldy, not spoiled, just slightly dried out. The museum where this dish is preserved only needs to dust it off occasionally, as if taking care of an antique. You don't need to go to Iceland. You can try doing a home test to see how long the fries you bought last. Many nutrition experts have come forward to explain. Accordingly, the potatoes at McDonald's and many other fast food outlets undergo many processing steps before they reach us. They are briefly steamed, pre-fried, cooled, and then fried again before being served. That process, along with the use of additives and preservatives, has transformed a simple ingredient into something that even bacteria hesitate to touch. So, let me ask you, are you putting potatoes or something else into your body? We still say, eat natural, live healthy. But is there anything natural in a potato that even bacteria won't touch? Food is made to nourish life. If it is no longer food for even the smallest creatures, is it still something we should put into our bodies? With a busy life, sometimes a box of fries that is both cheap and convenient is a quick choice. But like many other things in life, anything that is too beautiful, too perfect, sometimes needs to be looked at with a cautious eye. A stick of sweet potato may be delicious for a moment, but what truly enters our body stays much longer than that. A cracked egg right in the kitchen, quickly fried and then sandwiched. That is the image you still see in the advertisements of many fast food brands. And so you ordered it for your breakfast. But if you dig deeper, the truth is completely different. It turns out that most of the perfectly round eggs in the McMuffin we are familiar with are not cracked open right at the store. They are pre-cooked at industrial factories, then frozen and transported all over the United States. When it's time to serve, the staff just need to reheat it according to the proper procedure. And so we have a fresh egg, but in reality, it has undergone a long journey of hundreds, even thousands of miles. Actually, in some special McDonald's locations, they still have eggs cracked fresh right in the kitchen. But for most large chains serving millions of meals each day, fresh simply means fresh at some point in the past, weeks ago. We choose fast food for its convenience. But that convenience sometimes comes at the cost of we no longer eat real food, but only consume images that resemble food. I'm not mentioning this to condemn any fast food brand. Modern life forces everything to be faster and more convenient, and fast food chains are no exception. But I think, at this age, when we have gone through enough ups and downs to appreciate health more, understanding what we are putting into our bodies becomes even more important. Next time you hear the term fresh cracked eggs on the menu, perhaps we should smile to ourselves and say, fresh, in a very different way that they never mention. Understanding to avoid being deceived, that is the best gift we can give ourselves. Come on, let's be honest with each other. Every time you walk past a fast food restaurant, don't you suddenly feel hungry, even though you're not? And so you step in without a second thought. For you, it might just be a coincidence, but in reality, everything is meticulously calculated, and perhaps no one has told you about it. Fast food restaurants, such as McDonald's, use a special ventilation system to pump the smell of fresh fries directly into the outside space, right in the pedestrian or drive-through areas. They know that smell is one of the strongest senses linked to emotions and memories. Just a whiff of the rich aroma of fried potatoes can awaken memories of a whole youth. Picnic days, hurried stops on road trips, or simply the small joys of a busy afternoon. And so, before we could even analyze whether we were truly hungry, our hands had already grasped the steering wheel, turning into the parking lot, and our mouths were mumbling, just a small portion. But do you know? According to studies, just the smell of fried potatoes can stimulate the brain to release dopamine, the hormone that creates feelings of happiness and satisfaction. It makes us want to buy more, eat more, even when our rational mind whispers that it's unnecessary. Who doesn't like a bit of comfort food? But I believe that if we understand how those scents guide our subsequent actions, we will be able to make more conscious decisions instead of being swept away unconsciously. Next time, when that aroma wafts by, perhaps you and I can both smile, close our eyes, take a breath, and then continue walking, carrying a beautiful memory instead of another fast food meal that we don't really expect. When the budget is tight, especially for those living on a pension, social benefits, or low income, finding a value meal sounds really appealing. A combo for just a few dollars, filling your stomach quickly, seems like the most reasonable choice. But if we stop and calculate a bit more carefully, the truth behind those value meals is not that simple. Have you noticed that in the menu, combo meals are always placed right at eye level, with bold letters and appealing images? Meanwhile, individual items are sometimes hidden in a smaller, less eye-catching corner. Marketing experts call this eye-tracking tactics, aimed at guiding us to choose the items that bring the most profit to the store. And the truth is, sometimes buying individual items is cheaper than the combo. I have tried it, and not just once. Choosing a small burger, a free glass of water instead of soda, and skipping the fries, the total amount to pay was $1 to $2 less than the standard combo. Not much, but if you multiply it by week, by month, the amount saved is significant, especially when every penny spent must be considered. The issue here is not just a few dollars, but rather the feeling of being led without realizing it. We think we are saving money, but in reality, we are spending more on things we don't really need. An extra large soda, an extra large fries, things that can make our health and wallet thinner at the same time, little by little. In recent years, it seems that fast food chains have made significant efforts to reassure customers that they also offer healthy options. Large signs advertising fresh salads, sliced apples, yogurt parfaits, and even hot oatmeal for breakfast. At first glance, it makes me, and perhaps many of us, feel more at ease. At least, if we have to eat out in a hurry, there are still healthy options to choose from, right? But then, one time while sitting and waiting for my order, I decided to read the nutritional information carefully. And what I discovered made me reconsider. A small parfait that I thought was healthy actually contains more than 22 grams of sugar. That's more than 2 donuts. A serving of oatmeal isn't much better if you don't specifically ask for no added sugar or no toppings. That's when I realized those healthy options weren't necessarily designed to truly serve our health. The real purpose is to satisfy the guilt complex, so that the group of customers who are dieting, who are concerned about nutrition, will still agree to step into the store with their friends and family. Like, it's okay, McDonald's has salads too. We need to remember that the way they market the food does not always reflect its true nutritional value, and especially for low-income individuals who are trying to balance living costs and health, this subtle deception becomes even more dangerous. So, the next time you hold a menu in your hands, perhaps instead of just looking at the keywords fresh, healthy, smart choice, let's read a little more carefully. A few minutes of checking the information can help us choose something truly kind to our bodies. Something that we, at this age, have struggled our whole lives to maintain. If you've ever wondered why you often stop by McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's, even when you know deep down that you're not really hungry, rest assured, you're not alone. And the truth is, this addiction is not entirely our fault. Researchers have shown that fast food is designed not only to taste good, but also to stimulate the brain, similar to how nicotine or sugar affects the nervous system. Saturated fats, high salt content, hidden sugars in sauces, in buns, in fried chicken, all create small chemical reactions in the brain, releasing dopamine, the hormone that brings instant satisfaction and pleasure. We eat a burger, a box of fries, drink a sip of cold sweet soda, and feel comfortable immediately. Not because the body needs energy, but because the brain is being rewarded. And when those reactions are repeated enough times, we start to form a reflex. Feeling tired, bored, or simply passing by the delicious smell of fried potatoes, we immediately want to stop. A burger costs $2. A full combo meal for less than $5. A filling meal, quick and convenient, especially when you only have a few coins left in your wallet. In times of rising prices and piling utility bills, fast food is like a lifebuoy. It gives us the feeling of being in control of the budget. It gives us the feeling that there is still something within reach. But now, I wonder if that feeling, traded for health, is worth it. A fast food meal can contain more than 1,200 milligrams of sodium, more than half the daily limit, more than 50 grams of sugar, enough to overload insulin, and the amount of saturated fat is 2 to 3 times higher than a home-cooked meal. Over time, the habit of eating cheap fast food leads to health problems and increasing medical costs, consuming everything you once thought you were saving. It's true that it's cheap today, but expensive later. Not just with money, but with your health, quality of life, and your own freedom. I share these things not with the intention of asking you to completely give up fast food, but rather to be more selective and conscious. A few small decisions can make a big difference for the future you are aiming for. A good meal doesn't have to be expensive. A healthy meal doesn't have to be complicated either. Just start by understanding what you are putting into your body. After all the things we have just explored together, perhaps you, like me, will no longer look at fast food in the same simple way as before. The burgers that don't spoil. The salads that seem healthy but aren't. Fast food is not just food. It is a system built for our convenience, but it can also easily affect our health. I'm not saying that we have to completely eliminate fast food from our lives, because sometimes a hot serving of fries or a delicious burger can bring real joy. But at this age, when every small decision can have a long-lasting impact on health and quality of life, I believe that we deserve to know the truth, and we have the right to choose for ourselves in a more conscious way. Now I want to hear from you. In today's 10 facts, what surprised you the most? Have you ever had those shocking moments when you realized you had trusted fast food too much? Have you ever had those moments of shock when you realized you trusted fast food too much? Please leave a comment below. Please leave a comment below. And if you love content that explores reality like this, don't forget to hit subscribe to continue the journey of seeing the world more clearly with us. This video is intended solely to provide information and provoke thought. We do not replace professional nutritional, medical, or legal advice. Always consult a professional if you need personal health advice.